Hello, and in this video I am going to attempt to fix a water feature that has stopped working. This water feature is slightly irritating in the fact that it consists of lots of very heavy slate bits stacked on top of each other. Yes, it looks nice when it's running, but the only way to get in at the pump is to completely disassemble it, and inevitably, doesn't matter what you do, there's a moving part in there, it's going to need some maintenance. This used to be worse. Now the glue that's holding them together is starting to deteriorate. It's starting to become easier to disassemble. Anyway, eventually you'll find the pump underneath. So we start, there's nothing on the grid at the end that's clogging it. So you then open it, and inside there you've got a small blue impeller, which is the bit with all the pokey bits on it. The idea is that the impeller spins round and it forces water up the tube so that it can come out the top of the water feature. Now the pump housing contains all of the electrical elements so that they're all sealed in, and it spins a magnet which is behind there. So on the back of the impeller there's a magnet, and the magnet is spun by the electrical power. So I forcefully disassembled it. You've got a rod there that the whole lot's spinning on, and you can see there's a little tab there, or was a little tab there at one point in its life, which is which engages with a little tab in the impeller section. Having been a few years old, it's worn, and they now brush past each other. So the impeller wasn't spinning when the pump was spinning, so no water was coming out the top. This is what you call built-in obsolescence. Last time I ended up taking the pump apart because it was struggling. The magnetic body had got a few metal shards in it, and it was just causing it to not rotate properly. Anyway, a bit of hot glue. A bit of hot glue has sorted out the issue with it, and the whole lot can now spin as one unit. So at this point we reassemble it all. The nice thing about hot glue is once it goes cold, it's set, so you don't have to wait overnight for it to dry before you submerge it back in the water. So reassembles, and then you've got the fun of trying to balance the whole lot back together again. And this sump design, the only way you can get into the sump is through this small hole underneath the water feature, which means anytime you need to do something with the pump, like brush off any debris that's tried to get clogged up in it, or service it for any reason at all, you've got to try and get in, and then you run, it just gets complicated. And one of the previous times I've had it fail was when there were more stones stuck together so that it was a two-person lift to try and lift the bottom section, and the pipe that goes up the centre managed to get dislodged from the underneath of it. Anyway, there's the moment of truth test, because the pump may or may not, or the pump may be spinning happily, but as soon as you run it up the centre of a water column, does the water actually come out the top? Anyway, it's quite nice to have a water feature in the garden, because you can sit there and watch some of the wildlife that comes up to it. Thank you for watching. and enjoy.